Welcome to the windswept British countryside again. And usually when I bring you here, it's because I've done something or I've bought something. And today's no exception. Yeah. I've gone and bought a Defender. Why would you do that, I hear you say? Well, yeah, I can question myself on that as well. And I had for a long time. But ultimately, this seemed like the best idea. Whether it actually was, we'll find out. But looking at Discoveries, Range Rovers, other 4x4s, etc., value, retained, complexity, parts, rust, etc., etc., something I can actually do green laning with, which is what I've partly been doing today here, which is it's incredibly wet. So it's already muddy, even though I've barely had it for very long. And this seemed like the best option, so I'm going to take you for a walk around this 2004 Defender 90 XS, which is XS top range model for that kind of time. The only thing this doesn't have is the sunroof, which that was the county model. I don't really understand how the spec worked for the sunroof, but it may have just been a box that's ticked. But yeah, it's all what you'd expect for 2004, and with only 60,000 miles from new. Black, maybe not the colour I would have chosen given the choice, but it is what it is, and it looks very nice. It's been kept quite well. The last owner had it since 2011 and didn't really put many miles on it. We've got the accessory checker plate on the side, which is factory, and a set of side steps which could be factory. They're the Tomb Raider style. They could be factory or they could be aftermarket. I'm not sure. I'm just going to try and find out, because behind the door there's a build sheet, and I've also got the microcat information. I'll put a bit of the build sheet in now. So, looking very nice from all angles, even though the bonnet's open for some reason. That's always good. Yeah, that happened somewhere along the line. Defenders, eh? And here we come to the point where I'm asking the question of why I've done this. Consider these aren't cheap vehicles, to be completely honest with you. So it's too windy out here, so let's get inside. Push button lock doors that they had in 2004 instead of the levered style that this has on the back still, and electric window, so no manual winder, but still the doors don't want to stay open and stuff like that. And my foot's trapped in the door. And here we are. So 2004 Land Rover had added this dash centre panel to the Td5, and a very nice bit of kit it is. This is before the 2007 full redesign that had the whole new dash and the transit engine, which I didn't want for two reasons. One, it's actually not a great engine. I don't like the design of that dash. It's very complex compared to this old style. If you need to do any work on it, it's complex. And they also had a lot more road tax on those vehicles, so anything after 2006 costs you a lot more in road tax. And yeah, so this is fairly basic. It has air conditioning, which is this bar at the bottom. It has electric windows. It has heated front and rear windscreens. It has heated seats. It has electrically adjustable headlights, which is something I didn't realise, and fog lights, etc. All very neat. And obviously a radio, CD player, which is the same CD player as the Freelander, Jeff, mounted in this thing that always breaks, apparently. Apparently they all do that, sir. And yeah, it's I'll see if I can fix that at some point. In front of me we have the old style binnacle, which is not a whole lot different to what the Series 3 had that I had way back when. And the lever style controls on the side are still there for heater, and the same on this side for temperature and the direction of the vents, which are at the top. And I'm quite happy with that. It's simple, it's effective, and you still have an ashtray, and the ashtray still just kind of this one actually doesn't usually pull out with nothing. But 60,000 miles, 217, which it had 59,000 when it was MOT before I bought it, and it did more miles on the delivery journey down from Newcastle than it actually did in the last year. Everything seems absolutely fine. It drives lovely, so I'm not concerned about that. It's been treated well, clearly, and it had its last full service in 2021. Next to the Speedo, we have just a few basic gauges. You can barely see the clock there on the right, which is, I mean, it's wrong. I don't know how to set it. I think it has some buttons. Temperature and fuel, I don't know how much I can trust the fuel gauge. I might change the clock for a rev counter, because I'm still learning the rev range of this engine, and I meant to bring with me a bit of paper with a graph that actually tells me the RPM for each gear. I forgot it, but I'll put it on screen now. And that teaches me roughly what speed I need to be at for each gear, because the max you want to rev this thing is probably about 3,000. And probably the cruising speed maximum is about 55. You get a lovely view over the bonnet. No front checker plate on the wings. Yeah, they're dense and such, it's fine. I think need new wiper blades because they're not massively effective. And the washer, will it work with the... No, it won't work with the ignition off. It kind of sprays all over the place. Where are the keys? One moment, please. Yeah, that's not... I mean, it's not massively effective. It's also not terrible, but this is... it's another one of those, they all do that, sir, kind of things, the Defender. And here we just have basic lights. Different to the square illumination they used to have in the really old ones, but all very nice. And you might be able to hear the fuel pump whirring in the background. The key is still on the left, and you still turn it towards you, which means it's completely just, the ignition barrel's just flipped. Madness. All nice, simple controls, nothing to really worry about there. I've changed this steering wheel. This is a Momo steering wheel, and it's also on an Optimil Boss. It's slightly smaller than the original. It's leather, and it has the stitching that matches the seats. I haven't actually shown you properly yet. These are the part leather excess seats that have the white stitching on them, and as you can see from that one, it's in pretty nice condition. So yeah, this matches. It's also a smaller steering wheel because, you know, Defenders, elbow room, classically not amazing. That's with the door not even closed. So yeah, interior wise, the rest of it, it's a 6-seater, and I'm going to jump in the back shortly. Part leather seats. Yes, it's all black apart from the headlining, but you know, it's nice. We have some bits and pieces and lights and things, and this hasn't sagged too badly, which they do. It's still a 20-year-old car at the end of the day, something to bear in mind. Oh, the other thing this still has, being an earlier model, is it still has the bulkhead air conditioning flaps. So I have air conditioning down there, but I also have those flaps And an amusing thing about these flaps down here is they're barely held in. In fact, these are the most attached ones I've seen. I've test driven a few, and they sort of fall out in your hand. So, Land Rover, eh? And centre cubby box, nothing unusual or surprising here. Cubby box, which is factory original with cup holders. By 2004 they had realised that you needed this kind of thing, and they've done a fairly decent job, to be completely fair. I've got some security items for it. I'm not showing any of them because I don't want to give anybody any ideas as to what I'm doing with it, but I'm happy with what I've done, and hopefully it puts people off. The only thing I need to work on here is this door. You can see this latch thing, the lock thing, is a bit broken. It was already broken. Somebody super glued it to the door card. So yeah, that didn't last. Right, I'm going to jump in the back now and we'll talk about that. I'm going to have to wash this thing already. Oh well, it's being used for what it was intended for. Around the back, spare wheel. One thing I do need to sort out is tyres at some point, probably next year, because these tyres are very nice, they have lots of tread, but they were made 10 years ago. Oh sorry, they were made in 2010, so before the previous owner bought the car, and I assume this, I almost daren't look, but I assume this is the original 2003 tyre, very much like the Freelander. On the back, the latch is a lift-up affair, the same as the old Series 3 was from 1977, and in the back we have a nice rear load area and seating. This is a 6-seater, as I said. We have a nice rubber floor mat, and actually even have some lovely plush carpet here, which is in nice condition. The front also has rubber floor mats. Someone lovingly put a Land Rover badge on there. Someone loved this car, definitely. It's a little a shame they didn't put it centrally, which I intend to fix, because it looks great there. Yeah, so half leather seats in the back, same excess pattern as the front, and they're in great condition. I honestly don't know if these have ever been used, really. They're in nice condition. The step is still on the back, the step isn't damaged. Towing equipment on the back, all good. And in here, it's very plush for a Defender. You can see the seats have the fold down bit and the strap that holds the seat up. Quarter lights, all nice. Sliding windows, yes. Very simple and basic, and they rattle. And that technology next to the ultrasonic sensor, which is identical to the one that my dad's Rover 400 from 1998 had. So yeah, you can see the level we're working at. Back door looks good. The load area, little cargo net, they always wear out. They always get stretched. I don't know what gets put in them, but something heavy probably. And we actually have speakers in the back here as well, so passengers in the back get some sound. And you get a nice view over the front. It's actually a really long time since I rode sideways in one of these. I have done, but it was a very long time ago. Being a station wagon, excuse me, that wasn't me, that was the seat. This has the bulkhead removal bar, so no bulkhead, and it means you can get the seat back further for tall people like me. You still don't got to get a lot of leg room because this is a Defender, but it's better. And the bulkhead removal bar, then you've got your towing equipment here, or your recovery equipment, sorry, like your jack and the foot plate for it here, as well as the nice badge. Pockets on the back that you can't use really, because, well, unless you have somebody permanently stationed in the back to get them for you. And yeah, bits of twig that have apparently come through the window, and spider webs. One of my concerns when I was test driving these is that it would be awful to drive. And it actually isn't. Despite the lack of legroom and the heavy clutch and They're slightly wayward, although this one's pretty good steering, and you know, the slightly rough suspension and stuff like that. It's actually really nice to drive. This one I think is great. It's a different technique. You have to get used to it, but it's fine. I like it, and I think I'm going to be really happy with this. The intention or the reason for buying, that I don't think I ever mentioned at the start, is because I'm probably taking the bobtail off the road. It's been almost, I think it's 4.5 years, almost 5 years since I actually took it off-road properly, and that's just because the engine's been worn out and I've not really wanted to take it off-road and then have to drive it home again. So now I have this, which can tow a big trailer. I can borrow a trailer, rent a trailer, etc., take the bobtail on that and tow it home. No problem at all, don't have to worry about breaking anything, and I can then drive this for green lanes as I'm doing today. And let's see how that works out. If the 40-year rolling exemption for tax on a historical vehicle continues, then the bobtail will become tax and MOT exempt in 6 years' time, and then it's much easier to get it back on the road tax-wise, to justify keeping it on the road at least. And then who knows what I'll do with this. At the same time, this will become eligible to be imported into the US, and theoretically the value should, if it already doesn't increase, it should increase at that point. Maybe it'll be a good investment. It's not really what I've got it for. I've got it to have fun with, but we'll see what happens there. Little bit of a gamble, but you know, it's here to have fun with initially. That's the main thing. So I hope you've enjoyed the first look around this Defender and the B-roll clips that I've put in from the green laning today. Hopefully no major disasters, because I haven't done all of it yet. Yeah, look for more videos of this Defender in the future. It's not going to be huge mileage. It certainly isn't a daily driver. Still got the Mazda for that, but it's sleeping in the garage at the moment. So it'll be just winter car and green laning, etc. So keep an eye out for some videos of that. Thanks very much for watching.